Hi, it's David Dorian Ross again, America's Chi Evangelist, with the second of a series of lessons on advanced Tai Chi, back to the basics. Now, if you remember in our last lesson, we talked about the basic alignment and the basic structure of how you hold your arms in Zhangzhen, standing like a tree meditation. What I want to do today is take some of those basic alignment techniques and apply them to simple, fundamental Yang-style Tai Chi walking. And I want to start today's lesson by asking you to think about an exercise that you might have done in a calisthenics or an aerobics class called a mountain climber or a repeater. And in this exercise, very often you're in maybe a lunge position, or you're coming out of the floor position where you've been on like a push-up position, and in a lowered body position with your front knee still bent, you take the back knee and you pull it in. And you do that without rising up. So I'm just down low, I pull that knee into the chest. Right? The whole idea here is that you're exercising the hip flexor muscles, you're getting some of your ab muscles involved, and you're keeping low so you're strengthening the quad. Now, we can apply that technique when we look at how you're supposed to be walking in Tai Chi basic stepping. The principle that we're trying to focus on right here is, how do I walk and keep my quad sunk down so that I don't continually lose my quad every time I take another step. And what you have to do is apply this thought, this image of drawing the knee forward without letting the rest of the body rise up and down. The same thing applies to the tailbone, the Lian Tun that we talked about in the last lesson. How do I take a walk without changing where my butt's sticking? Is my tailbone pointing down? Is my tailbone pointing backwards? Again, you want to stay in one position. Don't change the alignment of your hips as you draw that knee in. Right? Now, when I say don't change the alignment of your hips, what I really mean is that the tailbone should still point to the ground no matter what the rest of your body is doing, whether it's turning left, turning right, moving forward, moving back. So in fact, you do have to exercise some control of these joints, the connective tissue, and a small amount of exercise of the muscles to be able to keep the tailbone pointed in the same direction. Right? So for example, as I shift back from my initial Tai Chi walk, turn and step up, my hips are going to go forward and my tailbone wants to turn into a different position. So I have to make sure that I tuck under more in order for it to stay in the same place. As I bring the back leg up, I have to tuck, or I have to sink into my quad more in order for the knee to come up without rising up and down. All right. Let's go back for just a moment while I break down this Tai Chi basic step into 5 basic parts. If I begin in a lunge position, in a bow step, part 1 of the basic Yang style Tai Chi walk is to sit back, to shift my weight into the back leg. Now, one of the things we haven't talked about specifically in this series of lessons is the alignment of the knees and the hips. So I'm going to kind of leave that for now. We'll come back to it later, but just remember that the knees should not collapse in or out when you sit back. They should stay right over the feet. Right? So I sit back, shifting my weight to the back foot. That's 1. Now the whole body turns as a unit. Whole body turns. That's part 2. And the amount of turn is just 45 degrees. Right? So I turn 45 degrees. And as in our last lesson, you want to take a look and see, has my head turned more than my torso? Has my shoulders turned more than my hips? Have my hips turned without the body? By keeping your San Ti Shi, by keeping your alignment correct, everything should move together as one unit. Okay? So, 1, sit back over the back foot. 2, the whole body turns. Right? Part 3 is to step forward into a T-step. And here's what we were talking about before. I have to readjust my hips to make sure the tailbone is staying in the same place and stay low, keeping my quad sunk down as I bring this knee forward. Right? Now my body's still in the same basic relative height. I open the hip, which means my body begins to come back. I step forward and land heel first. That's 4. And then shift forward into a bow step. That's part 5. is take a look at a few steps all together so that you can see what I'm talking about. So this basic Tai Chi step is something that you can do as many times as you want to. When I was training in China, we actually had a large training hall about the size of a basketball court, and what I would do for hours, literally hours every day, is nothing but this basic step. So I would walk from one end of the basketball court all the way down to the other end of the basketball court, turn around and do this basic Tai Chi walk back again. If you've only got 10 minutes a day, this is what I recommend. Now, what's going to be a little bit more interesting is that in the following lessons, I'm going to start talking about how to add this basic footwork with some basic upper body techniques like brush knee and push, part the horse's mane, and roll back press. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see you in the next lesson. Remember, I'm David Dorian Ross, America's Chi Evangelist, and as I always remember to point out to people, Tai Chi was meant to be played, not worked. So have some fun when you're practicing. This is David Dorian Ross. I'll see you in the next lesson. Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed that video. I just wanted to say thank you for watching. Hey, if you're a first-time viewer, why not click the subscribe button above and become a regular viewer? I put out some new videos every week, and they've always got something pretty interesting to watch. Also, please leave some comments. Leave some comments in the space below. I want to know what you think. I want to know what you want to know. I want to know what you didn't like. And that always helps makes the videos better. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.